Welcome back to Art Without Rules. This is part 3, the final extension of my Panoramic Mountain Landscape series. In this video, we are painting the left side of the scene on a 30 by 60 cm canvas using oil paint and nothing but instinct and emotion. No formal rules, no techniques, just the freedom to create. Throughout the video, I will be narrating my thought process, sharing how I approach each decision as a self-taught intuitive artist. This part is not meant to compete with the main central painting, it's here to expand the view, to add depth and atmosphere, and to support the overall composition. Let's finish this journey together, one brushstroke at a time. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. I like to start by laying down the background colors first. It makes things a lot easier later on, because with oil paint you can always add more layers on top and they will naturally blend into what's already there. So here I'm focusing on matching the base color for each part of the scene. Even if I change things later, this underlying tone helps everything stay cohesive. It's like setting the mood for the painting. It's subtle, but everything builds on it. And because oil paint blends so well, this layer becomes part of every brush stroke that follows. Notice here how I am adding some variation within the background color, especially in the tree area. I am intentionally making the background lighter where the trees are further away, so it gives a sense of depth right from the start. Also take a look at the base color of the mountain. It gradually blends into a lighter gray toward the bottom. The subtle shift will help separate the layers later on and create a soft transition between the mountain and the terrain below. Here I am starting to paint the clouds, building them up stroke by stroke. I'm mixing white with just a little blue and a touch of black to get that soft, muted tone that matches the atmosphere. I'm using a brush with a rounded end. It helps make the strokes feel smoother and gives me more control when blending. It's especially useful for clouds where I want that soft airy look without hard edges. I'm also paying attention to the style of the central painting, so the clouds here flow naturally into that middle section, keeping the whole composition consistent. Next, I'm starting to paint the mountains. This particular one is pretty steep, so I'm mostly using vertical brush strokes to match its sharp, upright geometry. For this part, I have switched to a flat-ended brush. It creates harder edges, which really suit the rugged feel of the mountain. It helps me define the structure more clearly and gives that bold, solid look that makes mountains feel grounded and powerful in the scene. Now I'm starting to paint the mountain areas that are covered with snow. For this, I'm using pure white to really make those sections stand out against the darker base. I have also switched to a smaller brush so I can add more fine details and sharper edges, especially where the snow catches the light or follows the ridges. It's a simple step, but it adds a lot of realism and contrast to the mountain. Here I'm adding darker and more saturated paint just underneath the snowy areas. This helps create stronger contrast and really defines the shape of the mountain. It also adds a sense of geometric structure, giving the snow a more natural place to sit and making the overall form feel more three-dimensional. It's a small detail, but it makes a big difference in how the light and shadows read. In the end, I decided to blur out the mountain parts just below the snowy areas. It felt like a better fit for this piece since it's meant to be a subtle extension of the central painting, not a scene stealer. Softening the detail helps keep the focus where it belongs. Now I'm moving on to the forest area. I'm starting with the lighter tones in the background and gradually using darker colors in the foreground to create depth. For this part, I'm sticking with the same flattened brush for sharper shapes and the smaller brush for finer detail, just like I used on the mountains. Finally, I'm starting to work on the small field section. I'm using the flattened brush to block in the base, and I'm bringing in everyone's favorite, the fan brush, which is perfect for creating those grass-like strokes. It gives a nice textured feel and adds a bit of life to the field without overworking it. This section is small, but it helps tie everything together and gently leads the viewer's eye back towards the center of the full composition. And now we are finally done with the 3-piece mountain landscape composition. It's been such a rewarding journey bringing this panoramic scene to life, one canvas at a time. I hope you have enjoyed watching this process as much as I have enjoyed painting it. But before you go, let's take a moment to look at all 3 pieces together and see how they connect into one complete story. If you enjoyed, please also consider subscribing. Thank you.